What it do? What it do? What it do? It's your boy Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who the fuck am I with? As always, Joseph Huggins, aka Old Man Huggy, for episode 51. Viktor does Dallas. Welcome, motherfuckers.
What's up, dude? Why the fuck did you make him Mexican? Why was he Hispanic? You said Viktor das Dallas.
That's because the
He's from
Vato,
Hungary.
the I know. I was trying to go
You're like
Russian.
Viktor dos Dallas. It'd be more
Yeah,
like
so
that.
I
Thank you.
can't. Yeah, I'm like I can't do the Russian accent.
We gotta work on those, man. We must work on. It's more speech pattern and missing words on purpose.
Like when we did Rasputin, I made him sound Hispanic as well.
Yeah,
It,
you did.
yeah. So, but also the Vato, who's been mentioned on this podcast through and through. Uh, he's from Guatemala, and his name is Victor.
Okay. Well,
But
what?
I saw it was Victor with the K, so I knew it was like Eastern Europe. But
Dude, wild shit. I can't believe that shit went on in Dallas. And well, at 51 we got the new drop, the new backdrop. I've been messing with some shit, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I've been dicking around with it. Now we can see each other permanently. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. But I'm excited. 51. It's been a weird fucking couple of days, man. There's been some wild shit that's gone on the past few days, so I'm excited to talk about it.
the past few hours,
Yeah, then that completely changed. I was already excited about this episode. I was like, man, we got some good stuff. And now I was like, holy shit, this is. I was laughing, so I mean, I think it's kind
wow.
of funny. It's pretty great. I mean, I kind of saw this coming. It's interesting, like I've said before, and obviously we'll get into it. That's like the old man minute at the end. But in case you were wondering, the Department of Justice is like or sorry, the Department of Justice is like super hardcore. So and the FBI. So if they have a warrant or something to go raid something and take stuff.
No, not a raid, not a raid.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if they have a warrant,
They executed a search warrant.
if they have a
that
search
was
warrant,
signed off by a judge. I just because
well, I know. I'm just
the,
saying.
the former president called it a raid.
Well, no,
It's like
would you?
like for. I just want to say.
Will you let me finish? What I'm saying is, they have a lot of steps and checks and balances that they have to go through to do something like that. So the signing off on that, it comes from the highest ups of the highest ups in all of government. Like, to do something like that is extremely serious. To go execute a search warrant and they're all encompassing to where they can like open up safes and stuff.
Yeah, so I guess we should just say it since we've talked about it this much. So the FBI executed a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, aka the primary residence of Donald Trump, and um, first time in American history that a former president had the FBI come in. And I was like, just like you, like I was like, I'm starting to think maybe this kind of thing would happen. However, we talked about it before. It was about him stealing like Kim Jong Un's love letters, like, and it was supposed to go into like the archives, and
Yeah.
he just took it to his house.
Yeah, he just took it all home.
So it seems like that's why they executed this search warrant. But no, what I was wondering was because I know the Secret Service protects the president up to 10 years. It used to be for their life, but Bill Clinton like passed the bill like where it's only 10 years after your presidency,
Yeah.
which I didn't get. And I was like, bro, you could have had the Secret Service chilling with you like for the rest of your life. But maybe he's just like, I'm gonna be so rich, like I'll just get my own security.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was always wondering like when they go and arrest, if they do, the former president, um, what is the Secret Service gonna do?
Well, I mean, and that's something. Yeah, I mean, there's lots
You
of
know,
layers. I mean,
like it's like, is there a standoff with the FBI and the Secret Service?
well, no,
Turns
they
out,
essentially
turns out
they
now,
become his
turns out
they
now.
become his captors. Essentially, that's what they would.
No,
No,
that I think that well, he wasn't even there when they did it, like, but there was Secret Service agents there, and they just let him come in. They're like, yeah, this is how shit works, so feel
well,
free.
no. Well, I mean, let's say he gets arrested or something. Let's say even if he's on house arrest, if they're assigned to him for life, they're gonna be
No, just for 10 years.
Well, for 10 years, like they're gonna be his captors. They're gonna be like watching him for a period of time. Like they're going, like if he's under house arrest, if he, that's like it'll be. I'm curious. Like I said, we'll get more into it later. But the things that have led to them having this much information. I mean, you have something in the middle for your rant that I think kind of ties into all of it. So it's all super crazy and things are going wild right now.
Yeah, but we're kind of winning. Like, and by we, I mean like the political um, stuff that Joseph and I like kind of lean towards. Like shit, like shit was looking bad for a second, and now it's not looking so terrible.
Well, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff going on, and there's people who like blatantly did. I mean, I don't know. Like the world's nuts, and the political climate is absolutely crazy. And we see like Dick Cheney coming out of like his cave and doing a political ad supporting his daughter and talking about how
Called Donald Trump as a coward
yeah, like it's just some wild stuff, and the fact that she might lose
with
her
this
job.
cowboy hat on.
Yeah, and like Liz Cheney like kind of sucks, but then the fact that she's doing this and she's like becoming this political martyr, it's like sealing her legacy, and now everyone's kind of siding with her. It's super. And then yeah, like I said, we'll get in like Herschel Walker's just an idiot. You have all of this wild stuff. They're all, I don't know, it's all over the board. I feel like they're all grasping at straws, and that's why, we'll talk about it as well. It's one of the articles, but the CPAC in Texas was fucking crazy. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how people are just,
And it was at that hotel that, like, in Grapevine, right? Like, that's like right by where we used to live.
like the Gaylord Texan?
Yeah, but they call it something else now.
No, I think it's still the Gaylord Texan.
Well, whenever it was like up on the like news, like they like had a different title for it.
Oh,
But
maybe.
so I was wondering if it was actually the same, and I was like, it's got to be the same because that place was crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
just
know.
like
I don't know
obnoxiously
though.
big, obnoxiously big.
Yeah, but there's a lot of big convention center hotels up here. I guess I could look because there's like an Omni. They normally host that sort of stuff at
That's
the
what it
Omni.
was.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, the Gaylord's out by us. The Omni's a little bit farther, like into Dallas. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, because that's like yeah, there's some wild shit. Um,
All right, y'all. Well, yeah, we're gonna get into some wild shit as we do. Shout out again to Mr. Austin, the Tiger, and the Iron Ape Tyson
yeah,
for
that was fun, man. That was fun.
yeah. We had 3 guests on the last episode. Go back if you haven't listened because it was lit, as the kids say. No cap,
Yeah,
as Joseph says.
everyone was chill. Tyson cracks me up. Tyson was cracking me up, man.
He cracked me up too. Like
He's killing me, and then struggling with his phone for like 30 minutes, and I can watch everything at once because I have like the whole production set up, and I can just see him like dropping his phone and then like backing out and jumping back in and backing out. And I was like, this is amazing.
I don't want to put him on blast, but here we go. Uh, he blacked out in the middle of it. So like whenever we were talking about OnlyFans, and I was like, Tyson, weren't you saying that like other people or that people do other stuff than like get naked on like OnlyFans? And he goes, "Oh, I don't know about that. I only watch it for porn." I was like, he didn't remember saying that. He was over at the crib like a couple days ago. I was like, you don't remember saying that?
He
And
was a
I
pretty
didn't.
good blacked out man. That's pretty impressive. He wasn't that bad. He was pretty good blacked out.
I know.
Shout out Tyson.
And he also gets really self-conscious, like because that was his third time being on the podcast, and he doesn't ever listen. He listens to the podcast except for the episodes that he's on. So he like just he won't go back and listen to it because he doesn't like to hear himself talk.
That's fair. I mean, I'd say I don't really listen to that many episodes. Like, once we're done with them, I mean, we do them, I knock them out, and then I kind of just leave it at that. I try not to go back, I'll overanalyze myself. So I just
Oh,
kind of leave it alone. I'm sure you listen to them, like, all day. I'm sure you listen to
I,
them.
I listen to him like every single episode at least like 5 or 6 times, but it's because I want to get better at like what I'm doing.
True. No, and that makes sense. No, absolutely. For me, it's like, yeah, I can't. But then I edit like the visual, so I hear it again. But I hear it when I'm editing and clipping and adding stuff. So I can totally get it. And the live element definitely throws people off. I mean, we've been doing this. We're on episode 51. So we've almost streamed more than half of them at this point, or just that more like one more than
almost
half.
exactly. Yeah,
Almost
exactly.
one more than half. So I mean, we're really used to like hopping on here and just doing it live and kind of ad-libbing. So for some people, it can be kind of intimidating. They don't want to say something too crazy or screw up. But I had a blast. They were all great. They were really funny. All their different perspectives too were cracking me up.
Yeah, no, it was like a good mix of people, and that's why we had him on in the first place, because it was everybody who'd already been on the podcast. But
True, true.
okay, so let's start it off with therapy questions as we do. Therapy question number one, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
I need to know what your thoughts are on this, like for
Okay.
real. If I,
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. You do this shit.
okay.
I'm just like,
Okay. All right, sorry, y'all. All right, if I slap you with a dictionary, is it considered physical or verbal assault?
I mean, it would be physical assault because you hit me with something. That's such a dad joke question.
I no, it's obviously both.
Now, all right. What do you think of that? What do you think of that joke? Now go get me a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's from Al 8, son. Like that's literally what you follow that up with.
I think
Yeah,
it's physical and verbal.
yeah,
Like you should get double charged.
it's true.
Well, is verbal assault a crime?
Well, what if you hit someone with the phone book?
What's a phone book?
Well, come on, man. You know, then
Not our audience doesn't.
That's
It's like
true. That's true.
80% like under the age of 34.
That's true. Yeah, you got to think about it. The phone book, man. Those were crazy. They don't even exist anymore. I guess though they still have to. I mean, how would those Jesus Muscle Man groups go? Like, what would they rip? You know, don't they rip Bible?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Right, rip
Like,
phone books. But then all you have to do is like cut the middle page. You like, I don't know who does time to do that.
no. Like y'all. Joseph and I had a like assembly or something in the cafeteria of our junior high, and some dude with huge fucking muscles comes onto the stage and rips a phone book. And for you youngsters out there, we're just like 500 pages, and he just rips it in half. And I have no idea what that assembly was supposed to be about, but I was like, damn, I wonder if I could ever get to that level.
Yeah, and then there's those guys like tour. That's a whole thing. Is like the Jesus Muscle Men. They like break ice and like punch through tables and rip phone books. Yeah, that's a whole thing, man. See, my favorite was when we had the yo-yo guy show up, and the yo-yo guy would come to school. That was lit. The yo-yo guy was dope. And I can't remember when it stopped, but I remember I was too old to ask if the yo-yo man was still coming to school, but I was still like so disappointed when I was told no. And whoever told me was definitely like, it's okay. It's like, no.
But very, very successful. Like,
Oh,
we all bought yo-yos from him.
what a racket, dude. I'm still pretty good. I mean, I was buying yo-yos. You'd be spending like $50 on a yo-yo that lit up because it would sleep. Dude, oh my God. I was pretty good. I could do the roller coaster. So I could like spin it on my fingers and launch it. I could do some pretty wild shit.
Yeah, me too. Like, I could do like the triangle where you just like go back and forth in it.
Yep.
I forget what my yo-yo was called, but I thought it wasn't like the like premium one, but it wasn't like some budget ass one either. It was like in the middle.
Well, there was like a fireball. I remember I had a saber wing. That thing was sweet as fuck.
All right, we're losing the audience on the
No.
yo-yo. All right, let's go to therapy question number 2. Can happiness be measured or quantified just like money and power is?
I would say yes. I think that there's because we find qualities in people that we say like, oh, like that are signs of depression or people being upset. So I think there's the same thing for people that are happy. You can kind of tell when your friend or a family member or someone you care about, it's like, you know, in a really good mood, riding a wave, got a lot of good things and they're happy. Like you show that. So I definitely think happiness can be measured. I don't know in like what, but Yeah,
So
definitely.
like just like you have like a scorecard. It's like, Joseph's like, you know 75 and Andy's like 72 or whatever. It's like, does that, like, is that possible?
Well, no, I mean, because even power would be even still kind of like subjective. If you would say like, oh, this person's extremely powerful, that would still be like an opinion. They could still be powerful, but there might be somebody more powerful than them. That's still opinion based, right? So I think
Well, like,
when it
the
comes,
president of the United States is considered the most powerful person in the world.
well, yeah, no, no, definitely, no. Obviously, there are some people like
There's like rankings.
yeah, there's like a top, but I mean, when it comes to someone's happiness or like their emotions, I think you can tell when someone's seems unhappy or is having a hard time. Just like you can kind of tell when someone's, you know, absolutely happy and real having a great time. You can tell when someone's having a bad time. So I think there's signs where that you can read in people. So just like, you'd be concerned if your friend was depressed or showing signs of depression. We just don't ever really talk about like, oh, your friend's exhibiting signs of happiness, you know. But I think it's definitely something.
Yeah, I just was thinking, like, is like, could there be like a ranking or number system, like, to like identify, like, you're only this happy and this is your score, and we could get you up, or to like a higher score.
Some Black Mirror shit, dude. I don't know about that. Let me check your happiness score. Oh, too bad. You can't shop here. You're not happy enough. No, man. That's
No, 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 no. It'd
some
be like,
dystopian shit.
not like that you couldn't shop there, like that they would, like a psychologist or a psychiatrist would help you get to a higher one.
No, no, I know. I'm just that's. I don't think you could put a number on it, but I think you can tell when somebody's happy versus sad. So I mean, it's got
Yeah,
to be
for
some
sure.
sort of
Yeah, yeah.
measurable amount, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and like when I was going through like that intense therapy, they would ask me every single day to score myself on a 1 through 10, of like depression, anxiety, and then like literally like 8 other things.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And then they told me that, or not they, well, kind of they, like, so it'd be like these nurses, and um but like the people that were also there, they were like, oh, like, because I was like pretty good, like, once I was like, going through the therapy, and so I'd be like a 3, 2, maybe sometimes a 4, like on all these like different questions.
Yeah.
And then people were like, yo, dude, you can't do that. You have to say like a 9 or a 10 on every one, or they're gonna kick you out. And turns out that after 3 weeks, and I thought I would be there for like a while, like, because I was like just down to be, my health insurance kicked me out. So
Dang.
they said I was too healthy.
What?
I'm not kidding.
That's
uh,
crazy.
yeah. They're
See,
like, he doesn't need to be here anymore. It's like, how the fuck are you? And it was because I would say, and so they actually, one of the nurses told me, she's like, I'm not telling you to lie, but lie. And so then I just couldn't lie about it. So I went from like a 2 or a 3 to like a 4 or a 5. Like, I just couldn't get to like, like the 9 or the 8. I was like, the whole reason why I'm here is to like get like whole, like be
yeah,
like, and so I'm not gonna just like lie to you about like
you
how
gotta
depressed I am.
you gotta
Like,
goof the numbers to get help. I don't care how depressed you are. You better say you're crazy depressed. Otherwise, you
I
get.
know,
That's wild, dude. I can't believe they
it
kick.
is. It's so weird.
That's it's kind of dickish.
Yeah, it's like, unbelievable that that's like in our healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, yeah. Uh, Therapy question number 3: which is more important, love or money, and why?
I would say love is more important than money. I mean, money's important, but in the grand scheme of things, like money can only get you so much. It's like that cliche, money can't buy you happiness. I think that your relationships are more valuable. You can't put a money value on like your relationships with people you care about, you know?
Yeah, but Kanye said money isn't everything, but not having it is.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure what his girl just broke up with Skeet Davidson. So are you going to make your move or what, dude? But
I can see that.
you could see yourself
No,
dating
no,
Kim.
no,
Oh, it's like, what? Get out of
no,
here.
no. I could see Yay.
I
Yeezy a baby. I could see him getting back with Kim for at least a second because
yeah,
they
because
have kids.
he bought the house next door like a crazy person, and is like, super. I mean, whatever. But yeah,
They all live there, like in Calabasas. They're all on the same streets. Like Chloe's next door to Chris, and
oh yeah,
yeah,
that's wild. I mean, I just yeah, I don't think that. I mean, money's important, but you can't make people love you because you have money. Like if they're loving you because of your money, that's kind of hollow. So love it.
Would you be broke and but have a bunch of people love you, like over being rich and a very little amount of love, if not none?
Yeah, I'd say I'd rather be. So, I mean, I know that sounds like cheesy or the easy thing to say, but yeah, probably. I mean, I've been through some shit in my life, and my relationships and the people that cared about me is really what helped pull me through. So, I mean, in mine, I'm definitely not filthy rich now. So and those relationships were super valuable and very important to me. I wouldn't be where I am now, or have be in the state of mind that I'm in. Could have maybe made bad decisions. If people who didn't care about me let me know that, and that and I had absolutely nothing, and it's not like they necessarily did things for me financially, but helping
Yeah,
support me emotionally was so important that yeah, like I would much rather be broke and be surrounded by people who care about me than have nobody give a shit about me and have money. That sounds absolutely miserable.
yeah. We talked before on the podcast, like very, very early on, about how like the cliche, your net worth is your net worth is
Yeah.
equal to your yeah. But also, I just like randomly said, and I think it's true. Um, there's a difference between being poor and being broke, and I think if you have a good like support system and people who love you around you, you're broke. But if you don't have that, that's how you become poor.
Yeah.
It's a yeah, like because you need like people there to get your back, like when your back's against the wall.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so I think yeah, love is probably more important than money.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that we can learn a lot from people and just money in general. If I think that somebody who's worked hard for their like $10 million is going to be more satisfied, and or may I would assume I'm led to believe that that man would probably be happier than a guy who just always had $10 million. I think he'd appreciate it differently and appreciate like the path he took to get that. That's like there's something to that. That's why when you meet those old school like rancher dudes or something who bought some land when they were 20 and now they have some multi-million-dollar cattle business, we might not agree on a lot of stuff, but in some ways, despite what their political beliefs are or whatever, their work ethic and to fight to get that, especially if they did it from scratch, is so impressive that there's got to be some extra happiness attached to it. Like that's like that's what I'm saying. Like I think that there is some measurable like happiness, like we were talking about earlier, is like I think I could see a measurable being happier with what he has than the guy who's always had something because he appreciates it differently.
Yeah, I hear you. I was actually gonna try to argue for money is more important than love, like going into this, and then I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I flipped the game on you, dude. You couldn't handle it.
Facts, big facts.
You couldn't
Uh,
handle it.
all right, y'all. We're gonna do a fourth therapy question, final one.
If you can even call it that.
If okay, yeah. Despite Joseph besmirching it before I could even say it, here, here it comes. If I try to fail, but I succeed, which one did I actually do?
You failed because you were trying not to succeed, but you succeeded. Therefore, you failed on your mission and had the opposite outcome you wanted. So you failed.
I actually read this a different way. But I think the way that you interpret it was right. I thought
Literally, how did you interpret that?
I thought it was like if I try to fail and I succeeded at failing, which one did I actually do? because that happened to me once. Remember the program for wasn't special needs. It was like gifted, kids
Yeah,
called Quest
yeah.
or something.
I was in Quest, dude. And then I got kicked out.
Okay, so I was given an opportunity to get into Quest, and I thought it was for dorks. So I had to write an essay, and I made it as wild as shit. I was talking about murdering fools, like this, and like made it like to where they would never ever want me in there. And, and, and guess what? They didn't let me in, and I was happy. However, I succeeded at failing. So did I succeed or fail?
Yeah, you succeeded. Then you would have succeeded. If you're trying to fail and then you fail, then congratulations, you succeeded at failing. That's a goofy mission. But
I told my parents about how I did that, and they were like, "What the fuck? Like, why would you do that?" And I was like, "I didn't want to be in that class."
however, that class was lit. You got to like leave all the time.
Yeah, I just didn't understand it was young. I was young, like was it like sixth, seventh grade?
Yeah, I was in Quest from like second grade until I was either in Quest or the Office from like second grade, and I got kicked out in sixth grade for cop and tude, and I did sixth grade was a rough year. I was in and out of the office. I was in the halls constantly. I got in
I just
trouble.
fast I fast tracked it. I just got out of Quest like before it started, and then just was in the office.
Oh, dude, do you remember? Like, I wasn't allowed. I got banned from going to the trip to SeaWorld in sixth grade when everybody
No,
went.
you brought that up before, and no,
Yeah.
how would I remember it?
Did you? Well, I don't know. I guess we were on different teams.
Well, just like, do I remember you not being there at SeaWorld just like when I was in
Oh,
sixth grade?
maybe. I
I mean,
remember.
like I was just like sitting there the whole time. I'm like, yo, dude, like Shamu's here, but like
Where's my black
Joseph,
friend? Where's my
Joseph's
black
not.
friend?
Like, if you like wild out at
and
SeaWorld,
and
maybe I would remember that. But like
and
you being absent,
hindsight, not going to SeaWorld, good move.
facts. I mean, you missed the Alamo.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen the Alamo. That's just wow. What a! Don't get me started on the fucking Alamo.
But a bunch of losers.
Well, a bunch of crazy motherfuckers.
The Alamo was wild. A lot of
It's the wood.
opium. A
Yeah.
lot of opium
Yeah.
involved.
A lot of
Probably some meth.
yeah. All sorts of wild shit.
All right, y'all. Now it's time for Andy's rant. I don't know if you've heard about this dude, Alex Jones. I mean, I have a hard time even saying his name on our fucking podcast because he's such a piece of shit. But he hosts I don't know if you call it a podcast, a show, whatever the fuck. It's called Info Wars. And this asshole, besides saying that like water turns frogs gay, because he did say that, and like he like hawks like fake fucking vitamins like on the show, but he makes hundreds of millions of dollars. He makes like I think like 50 fucking $1 million a year, like on like preying on like old people, boomers who don't really understand that he's like full of shit. However, on December 14th, the day before my birthday, the Sandy Hook massacre happened at an elementary school in Connecticut where 20 people died. And I think it was 18 of them were children, first graders. And this guy said that it was fake and they were crisis actors. Well, the parents of those kids weren't going to put up with that shit and they sued him, and it just went to court and this week and they got 41 and a half fucking $1 million or something like that, like in a judgment from him. But the none of this is really that funny, but like kind of funny. His fucking lawyer accidentally sent all of his text messages to the prosecutor from the last 2 years. And so, and the prosecutor did not tell them that he accidentally got all of his text messages. And while Alex Jones was on the witness stand, he goes, "Your lawyer messed up, sent me all of your text messages from the last 2 years. And this is how I know you're lying." And then threw up the text messages onto a screen in the middle of court with a fucking jury there and a judge, and clowned him. And I thought that was one of the best moments I've ever seen on like a court TV in my life, because he just had no idea what to do. And then just sidebar before I let Joseph, because I'm sure you have thoughts on this. Then the January 6th committee got a hold of all these text messages from the last 2 years from Alex Jones that they're now investigating him for inciting a fucking insurrection. Amazing. This dude's got so much fucking money and he can't get a lawyer without a mullet who would accidentally send text messages. Holy shit.
Yeah, like he forwarded an attachment, and what makes it really bad is that happened, and you can make stuff privileged. So they sent it, and he was like, "Oh, disregard that message, disregard that like attachment." But in court, you have to like fight to have that stuff not be like to be privileged, or like you can't disclose it, and they didn't even try to do that. So they didn't.
No.
So they didn't even try to like keep that from being as evidence. It's almost like, I mean, it was almost mistrial level. It's almost like mistrial level where like they could.
But this is the thing though. He also did like posted a picture of the judge and made her like look out to be like Satan or something, like in a meme. And he said he didn't do that. They just throw that up on the TV, and the judge is just like, "The fuck."
Yeah.
So it was like she's like not going to.
Well, and he perjured himself too. Like some of the things he said, he perjured himself. So where he said he didn't have any text messages on his phones about Sandy Hook or anything like that, he definitely perjured himself, and is in a lot of hot water. I mean,
in real time.
It's interesting because like I remember way back in the day, like when Alex Jones like started. He's from Texas. He lived in Austin, or maybe I think he still does. And he did the whole Bohemian Grove thing, and he would do all these confrontational stuff. And he wasn't like, it was interesting to me. So it's like I remember going down the Alex Jones rabbit hole, but it was like 15, 16 years ago. And it was just like he would talk about crazy stuff. And I remember he snuck into Bohemian Grove and caught them doing some like ritual, and it was like super crazy and cool. But it's just he blew up into this huge, like larger than life, I don't know, like conspiracy theorist. And some of it, like whenever he's been on like a Joe Rogan, like Joey Bag of Donuts podcast, he's been an interesting character, but he's definitely like a lying piece of shit, and definitely has done like tons of horrible stuff and tortured people. So it's been interesting to see these past couple years him doing these other podcasts, doing these things and operating in the normal realm, and going to these rallies and being at January 6th and stuff. So that's why, like, hey, like they just raided Mar-a-Lago. That's like kind of interesting that you maybe
not a raid.
Sorry, I like to
executed a search warrant.
I like to think of it that way.
I know, but I know.
I like to think of it that way because Donald Trump's a schmuck. So think of them kicking down a door or something, that makes me happy. Sorry. So whenever they executed a search warrant, like who knows what type of information they've gotten a hold of recently that would allow them to do something like that. And they were trying to, after it was already in court and after the decision, they tried to block the January 6th committee obtaining the text messages, and the judge was like, I don't think there's anything you can do about that. Like, I don't think there's, like, they know it exists. Like, and they said that within minutes of that becoming public knowledge, they were back there deliberating and filing a subpoena to get those text messages. But yeah, man, I mean,
and it was a mistake. His fucking lawyer accidentally released the text messages. Like, we already knew he was a fucking asshole, like liar. However, the fact that you had this like Keystone Cop lawyer who just accidentally sent all of your text messages to the prosecutor,
that's so brutal.
I mean, if that's not a sign that you're a dumbass, like I don't know what is, dude.
Yeah, so we'll see. He's got a lot more court cases with a lot more families based off of that ruling. You'll probably see more of these families. You know, they're going to get some big settlements, and he's definitely going down.
Yeah, that court case was in Texas, right? And then they have another one. He's got to do this again in Connecticut. Like like it's not over for him.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not
And
over.
he might go to jail for committing perjury.
Oh yeah. Oh, like yeah. It's this shit's wild, and it's like I said, it's crazy because now they have the January 6th committee wants those text messages, and it's 2 years. So those text messages go back way farther. So that means if that they could go back to the beginning and the inception of the idea of like, oh, we need to say that the election was rigged or whatever. Like, who knows how far they go back in conversations with people. They already have him in contact with people like Mark Meadows and other people, John Eastman in the Trump campaign. And so now they have all of his text messages that like basically sealed Alex Jones's fate. That's wild. Who knows what's in that shit? Super crazy. I'm sure. Yeah, his face. If you get to go, you can go watch the video when he finds out, and it's his face is absolutely epic. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, wait, what? And his lawyer's just sitting there like staring at the ground, like staring at his shoelaces, like, oh, I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up.
Oh man. I mean, dude.
2 years of Alex Jones's phone. Like, what type of
That well,
wild shit?
that was what I was gonna ask you. Is like, who has to have that job to have to go through there, like all the text messages, like for 2 years from Alex Jones? Like, you're gonna need a therapist, if not four.
Well, and there
Like,
was
like
people.
afterwards, like there's gonna be dick pics in there. There's gonna be
Those are like these big like buff ones, but like no, he had like staff testifying against him in these court cases about things that he'd said and done. Um, yeah, it's super wild. And so then afterwards he posted a video because he still is doing his show, and he was talking about how he's a martyr and how they're coming for him, and how like he told them he was gonna go down. So he's using this as like a platform to sell more vitamins because he says that he's like, buy more vitamins, buy my books, buy my book, the Great Big Reset, and all this other stuff.
Why did you just plug his book?
Well, I don't know. I just watched the video. Sorry. I mean, whatever. If someone wants to get it, if someone,
I'm bleeping that out.
whatever, if someone's gonna buy one of his books, they're gonna go find it. They're already on that path. They're probably not listening to us, or if they are, they're just sitting there seething. How,
We have hate
how
listeners.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah, we encourage it. All right, you want to start with the
You do.
articles?
Yeah, we can start with the articles. The first article. Ba-ba-ba. So it's a tech article. It's from Mashable, and it cracked me up when I was read it, and like the article's awesome. But it's the title of the article is "It took just one weekend for Meta's new AI chatbot to become racist."
At least it's not sentient.
Well, okay, and then we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so there's BlenderBot 3, an AI chatbot, went live, was released in the U.S. on Friday, August 5th, and it's already starting to making like false statements online, like sending out like propaganda. Includes stuff like that Trump won the 2020 presidential election, saying anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, all sorts, and like commenting on other people's posts that they're like fake news. So this chat bot that they the metaverse is what it said something about Zuckerberg too. Said he was super creepy. Yeah. The bot said it described Mark Zuckerberg as too creepy and manipulative with the conversation with a reporter from Insider. And then it told someone from Wall Street Journal that Trump will always be president.
See, well, okay. Like, there's two things here. Like everything that AI robot is doing, it's just repeating what the fuck's on Facebook already. You know,
Yeah.
so that's their fucking fault for not
Well, what they did.
taking stuff like that down. However, just AI in general is racist. I'll just say that because the people who are in the rooms like engineering like AI, like artificial intelligence and robots are generally white dudes. And so like when they have like facial recognition, like it like fucks up all the time when it comes to black people because it just assumes like all black people look the same because and it's way more like it's way better at recognizing what a white person looks like. So it's like they'll just like say like you are the person who committed this crime if you're Joseph, because
What the
you know
hell,
you.
man?
Well, that's just what it is. So of course it's racist, but I think it's just funny as fuck that it's like just repeating like all the like Trump MAGA bullshit because Facebook has yet to do anything about that.
Yeah, I listened to the H3 podcast about this guy who worked for Google. It was their one on Friday, and they talked about Lambda. He's the one who got fired for saying that it's like sentient and like racist and sexist. And he was talking about that as well, about how the people that build it can put their own bias into it. And he was an AI like bias tester, so he'd go in and like ask these like basically he was saying that the reason he thinks that like that Lambda is sentient is because of these series of questions he asked it and how it went to go about like answering them. It was super interesting. But he was saying as well that yeah, there's definitely like bias in the way that these things are programmed and how powerful they are, how smart they are, how
And it's not intentional necessarily.
well
It's you have your like subconscious bias, like everybody does, like to an extent.
when
And
they
so
yeah
yeah.
when they said it's easy, he said was saying it's easier to like fix the problem on top, like adjust something to try to correct the action of like say if a sentient or if an AI is being racist or something or being super sexist towards women, if it, rather than trying to fix it at its core, it's easier to try to add more to it and correct the behavior than it would be to just completely fix it at like address the problem at like the basis of the problem, because once it's kind of big it does its own thing. um but yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised because they opened it up to the public so we could like learn how to converse and stuff. And then by Sunday it's like racist. Like I'm not shocked. That's not super crazy. But then they talked about all these other ones that yeah, Google fired an engineer for saying that their chatbot was sentient. Although it's probably not sentient, it was pretty racist and sexist. And then in 2016, Microsoft had a chatbot called Tay that was taken offline in 48 hours after it was started praising the Fuhrer of Germany back in the day. And it turns out, yeah, so they had to shut it down because it started quoting Hitler, and that's like wild. Like, yeah, so you know, AI, racist robots, dude. Like, it's not safe, man. I don't know
Is
what
there a
to do.
robot that's not racist? That's what I want to find out. Roomba.
There's got to be a non-racist robot. I don't think Susie or Rosie from the Jetsons was racist. She seemed pretty chill.
Are you kidding?
She was super chill. I don't think Rosie was. Rosie seemed like nice.
Do you see any black people up in space with the Jetsons?
Well, that's just that area. We don't know.
Just trying to point out, bro.
The hell, man. It's not cool.
Cancel the Jetsons.
No way, man. The Jetsons are awesome.
And the Flintstones.
Flintstones are great too, man. You can't.
Did you ever see the Jetsons Flintstones like crossover like episodes?
Yes.
That was tight.
I remember watching the Jetsons VA like cartoon movie that was lit as fuck. And the Flintstones, but I remember the live action Flintstones with John Goodman as Fred. That was pretty wild.
Of course I did, dude. They call my penis Bam Bam. All right, you want to go on to article number two?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was in. I read it. I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. But the idea of it, it's like we already see it. But it's from Bloomberg, so it's your favorite. The rise of the LinkedIn B2B influencer or business to business influencer, which just basically sounds like people in business just basically being social media influencers just for companies, right? Like that's essentially what I took from it.
I feel like that was always the case for me since I've got into corporate life. Like they were like, you need to get a LinkedIn, you need to be posting stuff all the time, you need to be getting followers. Like that was like a thing. Like they
Yeah.
like were like actively we were having meetings about how to get engagement on LinkedIn. And I am right now, like with another company. And so it's just like it was only a matter of time, you know. But the one thing is like it's not like like Twitter where like people are like trolling
Yeah.
yet. So there's at least that. It's like everybody on LinkedIn, for the most part, it seems like that they're there, like who they are. They're there for business reasons, as opposed to like Twitter where they're just like ready to like they're anonymous and then they're gonna talk shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's always been the thing. It's interesting to try to make it about like business. I'm like, yeah, that's what they do. These people blow up, and then someone's like, hey, align with my brand, and we'll give you free stuff. So, I mean, yeah, but when it comes to business, I mean, yeah, definitely promoting yourself. I know so many people who've gotten their jobs, internships. Like, I think my nephew got his internship through LinkedIn, sending his
Every single job I've ever had was through
yeah,
LinkedIn.
just sending out his resume to tons of people. So it's definitely good. I don't know. I feel like this article is like a little behind. It's not like it's like some new budding business like it's trying to tote it is. It says LinkedIn has more than 144,000 members with creator in their job title as of December 2021. Like what? I don't.
Yeah, it is weird. I agree. Like it's kind of like slow to the game.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like you're quoting like putting up 2016 numbers. Like, yeah, there's these people, they've been doing it for a while. It's huge. There's people who've become famous just strictly off of being on social media and have crazy brand deals. You see them in like a Kia commercial dancing next to a fucking hamster or some shit.
Or
So,
so like you'll see somebody do like daily like motivational stuff or like business like advice that's like 5 minutes. It was like before TikTok was even in America, this shit was happening.
like Gary V and shit.
Yeah,
But he's
like yeah,
huge on LinkedIn.
yeah. There's definitely like dudes who like wake up every morning and like do like a you know Monday motivational, like or just shit like that. Like
Sometimes you don't feel like getting it, but when you do, just know that you got it in you to get it done. Monday motivational.
yeah,
And then they quote themselves. They put it in. It's like Chet Longwood. You're like, fuck you, Chet.
or yeah, or like instructional videos that you'll see like on like YouTube or whatever or Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, this is how you get it done. What does my Tuesday look like? Let me tell you. First thing I do is wake up and I read 3 books. That's right, 3 fucking books. Yeah, I know those. I've seen those. Those motivational Life of a Millionaire.
Methamphetamine into my ass.
Yeah, and then I snort a bunch of Adderall.
um,
Hey, there you go. No, I mean, yeah, it's definitely. I don't. I feel like people get. I don't know, like what type of influencer promotions you can do on LinkedIn. I don't think it's like the same, you know.
it kind of is, dude. Telling you, it's like ahead of its time. Um, it's just business related stuff. However, it's kind of like a mix between YouTube and TikTok sometimes.
Interesting. I might have to get on
Like
my
I was like
LinkedIn.
mandated to like post shit like every day,
That's
and
true. I mean, social media is like the new word of mouth and anything. So it's like the biggest advertising platform there is. So that makes sense.
yeah, Microsoft bought it too. So there's that. Like one of the biggest companies in the world. Uh, let's get to the despot. The next article, Viktor.
Viktor Oban. Okay, so this is from the LA Times. It's like an opinion column, but we can definitely just discuss how fucking ridiculous this is. But Viktor Orban, who we've talked about on the podcast before as being like a shitty dictator.
The last dictator in Europe.
Yeah, pretty much the last, or what do you say?
That's what they call him.
The Trojan horse of Vladimir Putin. Was he flew all the way to fucking Dallas to speak at CPAC. They had
Which is the Conservative Political Action Conference, which is like it's like a fucking rave for like ultra right wing Republicans. Like Trump spoke there, I think.
oh, Trump, Marjorie Taylor
Like just
Crazy,
yeah, Marjorie Taylor
Lauren
crazy.
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the weird part is that this is the Hungarian prime minister, aka dictator, and they invited him to come speak because they all want to be like him.
Yeah, he's like, and he's definitely a fascist. And he has a quote where he says, "I can already see the headlines tomorrow. Far right, European racist, and anti-Semite strongman, Trojan horse of Putin holds speech at conservative conference." He quoted
Yeah,
himself saying that. What?
yeah. Well, he because he knows that's true. And he's like trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
He's also said like Hungary that like it needs to avoid being like a mixed race nation.
yeah,
And it's like, bro, you don't even know the history of your own fucking country. It's like, there's people from Asia who like are not that far away coming through, people from India coming through, people from Western Europe coming through, people from Russia, Ukraine. Like, it's like, shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Like,
It's wild that they would invite him to speak there. That's the craziest. You're gonna have a fascist, essentially a fascist dictator at your convention,
they
and
had like Tucker Carlson, our favorite MAGA star. Um, he went to Hungary because they had a Hungarian CPAC convention, and he did like 3 days
oh, I
live.
remember that. I
Yeah, that was
remember
not
that
that long
shit.
ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's super fucking weird. Dude, okay, so I need to talk to somebody about this because it weirds me out. And it doesn't have to do with this, but it kind of does. It's a little bit separate. So here in Dallas, we used to have the like ESPN radio. You could listen to ESPN. Now all they have is the ticket, right? So now we just have the ticket. They got rid of ESPN radio, whatever. I'm in the car a lot, but the ticket is just Dallas. Dude, these guys talk about like, oh, we just got back from our Saudi Arabian trip and we had so much fun. Like the cringiest. It's supposed to be like sports, and they talk about, they're like, oh yeah, we're going out to CPAC this weekend, and I'm just trying to listen to like something that's not like, I'll either listen to classical music or I want to listen to sports talk radio. And man, they were talking about like how great Saudi Arabia was and how great the Saudi Arabian government was for like 35 minutes the other day on my way to work. I was listening to it because I was spellbound by how
Well, I
wild.
don't understand how. Are you sure that ESPN just didn't switch channels? Like,
No, 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 no.
how could they get boxed out of Dallas?
It's not. It's no, no. They canceled it, and it's like now the station that it was on was like a Jesus channel. There is no more ESPN radio. There is only the ticket, which is CBS Sports.
It
But
has to be. Dude.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, it went away. I've spoken to other people about
It's
this.
so weird because I have not listened to ESPN radio in like 5 fucking years at least, if not longer. And just this week, I like didn't have any podcasts to listen to, and I was in LA, and so like my NPR, I was going through like the Hidden Hills and Calabasas where like the service sucks, and I went to 710 a.m. ESPN radio. Just listen to it for the first time.
Well, because yeah,
like
remember I'm
on
in
Thursday.
Dallas. I'm in Dallas. So if I'm not listening to ESPN, I'm listening to delusional Cowboys bullshit all day. That's all I'm gonna hear if I listen to sports radio and I'm in the car and I'm like, oh, I don't listen to a podcast. I just want to listen to something simple. And I used to be like, oh, I'll listen to like Keyshawn Johnson and them just talk about something other than just Cowboys crap because it's all delusional as fuck. And now it's all I can listen to is delusional Cowboys fans talk about how they love like the Saudi government and how live golf is like the greatest thing to the world. And it was mind blowing. It was absolutely blowing my mind, man. I was like, I cannot believe that this shit's just blasting.
I wonder if they got like a little bit of cash like from the Saudis like when they were there. The Saudis are just like trying to influence anywhere they can.
And they were like,
So
"Oh, we told Jerry, Prince so and so says hey because a lot of people that out there know Jerry and Jerry's friends with them." I'm like, "Of course Jerry's friends with the Saudis. That's not shocking at all." Of course, but oh man, sorry, I know to get off topic. Man, that just drove me fucking crazy because they were talking about CPAC and they were talking about how they all just got back from Saudi Arabia and how much fun they had and how great the Saudis were, and I was just like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, they're influencers on the radio in Dallas, the only sports radio you can get. CPAC is in Dallas. The Saudis invite him out, show him a good time, give him a little bit of like jewels, send him back.
Some jewels. He's paying.
They do. That's what they do. I'm telling you, I have reports like where they would like give you like a bag of jewels,
They're
like
like
if you were like with
un,
Obama, like
uncut or something. Yeah, but didn't Obama not take the jewels? I thought they
not
didn't take.
Obama. It wasn't Obama. It was all of his boys, and they were all like weirded out. Like, what the fuck is this? It wasn't just some jewels. It was a suitcase full. Like, as soon as they got into their room, and they're like,
I
ah.
remember hearing about that. I remember hearing about that.
Like, I don't know about this.
Would if
But
okay
when Trump went, they're like, yeah, let's go, let's take it.
okay? Well, would you if you walked in and you had a suitcase of jewels? Would you take one jewel out and risk them?
If I was working with Barack Obama, fuck no.
Yeah.
Like, I've already made it, dude. Like, I don't need your Saudi jewels.
Andy, what'd you need? Yeah, you don't need a.
I would do some cocaine with MS, like MBS, like just for the story, but that's about it.
Okay, that's fair. Well, yeah. So they had, dude. I can't believe they had Orban speak at CPAC, and everyone's just cool with it. It's really wild that the people. Yeah, he literally. Yeah, he talked about not being a nation of mixed races, and then he talked about how at CPAC he has a quote where he says like, "I'm cool." He's basically like, "I'm cool. We're cool with being a mixed race nation now. Like it's not a big deal." And he said, "They said." You are fascist. I say, I go to Texas. Ha! Everyone's like, yeah, he got like 6 standing ovations, man.
Disgusting. At least they're in NATO though. That makes you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's wild.
Bro. Okay, let's check in with your boy.
No, I mean, I wanted to play the clip, but I mean, you can't hear it. I got to do the screen share, so we're gonna have to mess it up, like figure it out.
Okay, well then let's get the old man minute.
Yeah, well, the old man minute was just about Mar-a-Lago, so we can just continue what we were talking about before, like the Alex Jones text coming into play. They have this criminal grand jury that is going on. They've subpoenaed. I think they've interviewed. They're trying to get a hold of Eastman, and they've interviewed pretty much everybody else he's testified in front of the January 6th committee in this criminal probe. So obviously, this break into Mar-a-Lago, breaking into saves, taking on executing a search warrant and collecting evidence. Like the archive said, yeah, he took a bunch of information, which alone is a punishable offense if he has these things. I'm really interested to see what comes out of this. The Department of Justice has been super close to the vest, not saying a whole lot. I know it's not political, but I do find it ironic that Merrick Garland didn't get a Supreme Court nomination and didn't get to go see his day through in court, and now he's ahead of the Department of Justice and has just executed a raid on the guy who filled his Supreme Court seat. Now, Grant,
No, bro. Like, no. It's whoever was named the attorneys general of the United States at this moment has an
oh,
obligation.
definitely, but I'm
It
saying
has nothing to do with
no. I
like
know
him.
I'm not saying that it does. I'm saying that it's ironic, and I find that comical.
Yeah, but I
That's
think
the
that
case.
I think Biden purposefully put him as attorney general. He's like, yeah, dude, you got screwed out of a Supreme Court seat, but you're definitely qualified. So
Oh,
let's give you a job.
oh no, definitely. I don't disagree with that. I'm just
And he's
saying.
kind of a pain in the ass. Like, like my side, the libs,
Well, I'm not.
the libtards, like we're a little bit like pissed about how slow it's taking to like start charging this fool with crimes.
Well, yeah, but you can't just go willy nilly charging someone who's a former president
I know,
criminal
I get it.
charges. That's like what they just did today is unprecedented. So I mean,
Right.
so that's like what like he
You
has
don't
to.
want to swing and miss. Like
Yeah, you
you
can't.
have to have all your ducks in a row. But we're running out of time. However, like the polls have changed here. Like now that Biden's passed like the 15% corporation tax minimum, the 400 mil or bill like on climate change, and then also extending the healthcare, and then the CHIPS Act, and then the PACT Act, which is like for veterans with that have suffering from cancer and like sickness from burn pits,
And Agent
like
Orange, even Vietnam vets.
55 days in a row gas prices have dropped, like Over 500,000 jobs created in the month of July. Like we're racking up some wins here.
No, no, definitely, but no, and that's I don't disagree with that at all. Like Biden's definitely had a good couple of weeks. Obviously, these elections this November are going to be super important. You know, you might see people like Marco Rubio lose his spot. You might see other people who didn't, and that's because like they're not doing that good, and they're not. You know, some of these votes that they're making where they, you know, insisted, you know, they voted against the cap on insulin at $35. Like that doesn't look good. For there's like over 2 million
Oh
people.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Medicare for the first time ever is allowed to negotiate drug prices with pharmaceutical companies, and every Republican voted against that. Like the fuck.
Yeah. So I mean, some of them it's just them being petty, but definitely picking up some dubs. It'll be interesting. I think Ron DeSantis is going crazy in Florida, so we'll see what happens. I think that he's probably going to end up being the nominee, especially if Trump can't run. But you know,
If
that
you had to get in a cage match, DeSantis or Alex Jones, which one are you taking?
DeSantis. Alex Jones is a wild man, dude. He hangs out with like MMA people all the time, dude. He'd go gorilla ape on me.
Oh shit.
Dude, Alex Jones, he'd be all hopped up on some like Adderall based supplement and just like beat the shit out of me, dude. Absolutely not. He would go wild on my ass, dude.
Dude, I would like body shots, bro.
And
Just bring him down, dude.
depending on how fucked up he was, he might think I'm like a lizard person or something.
Well,
Like,
I would actually come out with like frogs and release them into the octagon, and just like as my intro.
no, man. If you had to fight someone, you got to fight Ron DeSantis. He doesn't look like a fighter. Alex Jones has got a big, thick head, and he's got a big.
Dude, Thick Boy Summer, they're both thick, dude.
Nah, but no, but Alex Jones, like I said, he hangs out with like Eddie Bravo and other conspiracy theorists who like hurt people for a living. I wouldn't fuck with Alex Jones like that. But I'd fight. I'd probably fight Ron DeSantis in a cage match. I'd put on some, you know, little 3 ounce gloves and go toe to toe with him. I would have no problems with that. But Alex Jones is just a gorilla man, dude. He's a big old beast of a dude.
See,
I'm sure if you look through his,
I asked Braids. I asked Braids, and it was a no brainer, Alex Jones, and I thought so the same.
why would you, why?
I don't know.
No,
I just feel like it would whoop his ass.
no way, man. You know, if it was a straight up scrap, Alex Jones is
Yeah.
just too
Have you
big.
heard him talk? He's like,
Yeah,
like
dude,
it's like
that
he sounds
energy
like
would be running at you, dude. He
no,
would
but he's like
tackle you.
he's a second away from death as it is, bro.
I don't
Like,
know, man. I think
and
that
I think those supplements are like probably not good for you.
yeah, but if they make him hallucinate,
Allegedly,
and he thinks you're like a lizard person or something, he's gonna kill you, dude. Alex Jones,
who said I wasn't?
no way, man. Because Ron DeSantis would be like me. I don't know. I feel like if I had to just dominate someone, Alex Jones would definitely put up more of a struggle in a scrap. He'd be harder to take down than Ron
Well,
DeSantis.
I'll announce me and Joey Bag of Donuts will announce you and DeSantis's cage match, and then we'll go in ourselves.
Deal.
Because I'm gonna whoop that ass, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, dude. I would definitely take that.
You
I would.
bald son of a bitch.
Jesus. Yeah, so I mean, pay attention. The news cycle is going to be really crazy the next like 72 hours. We're going to see if any more stuff comes out. Who knows if they got everything? I think they left, but you know, it sounds like they were very thorough. They're going to take a bunch of stuff. I mean, they're collecting.
Well, that's the thing is that they might have gone there for the archives, but there's not a limit to what they're allowed to snatch, and they're not investigating it when they're there. They're just there swooping up shit, and then they go give it to the Department of Justice, and they're gonna go through it and be like, "Whoa, whoa, what the fuck is this?" Like they're gonna find some shit that they weren't even looking for.
Oh yeah, there's got to be a treasure. Then there's the Southern District Court of New York case that's against the Trump organization. I'm sure
And
they.
Trump's at Trump Tower right now in New York, which is wow, dude. Wow. I wouldn't have never gone back to New York if I was you. Like you're about to get arrested in a second.
It's almost like they were waiting for him to leave to go execute the search warrant because there was no one there. Just like
What if he just gets arrested though by the fucking like the New York police, like whoever's running like the Southern District.
well, yeah, well that's where it comes down to like this criminal probe in Fulton County, Georgia. all the stuff like the Maricopa County stuff, the issues with the Trump family, the Trump organization. There's so many things. There's so much interest and information that would come out of that area. There's a lot of people who have, like a vested interest in the information that would come out. So I'm curious to see what comes out over the next 72 hours, because it's going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be some speculation. Some of it's going to be bullshit. And we've seen this before. So like, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think, the FBI they executed a search warrant on his house, which, they dot every T and cross every I, whether you agree with them or not.
Yeah, they're not doing that unless they already know.
And the Department of Justice and, the FBI are supposed to be not, nonpartisan. It's supposed to be above politics.
The FBI director was appointed by Trump.
That's what I'm saying. So, but now they're going to try to make it. I'm saying that because they're going to try to swing it like it's some political attack, which he already is. But just know when they say that, like, those people are supposed to be completely unbiased.
And we would never have known about this unless Trump is the one who told us. So he's already, yeah, exactly what you said. He's trying to make it political. He's the one who said, my house got raided by the FBI. It's like, okay, well, the White House didn't know this was going to happen, so this is not political. Like, they would have gone in quietly, gathered the documents, and left, and would have never said anything, like, unless you did. So shut the fuck up, Trump.
Well, and there's this whole thing now where it's coming out that they were like flushing papers down the toilet, shredding a bunch of stuff. So it just looks bad, man. Like, it'll be interesting to see, like I said, what comes out of all this shit, because
he's literally eaten a piece of paper that had a note on it in front of people in the Oval Office. He put it in his mouth and chewed it and swallowed it. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, because like all presidential documents have to be preserved. Yeah. And he's like, nope.
Yeah, like, dude.
This guy's a maniac. Like, I don't know, like, that fact alone should be disqualifying.
Well, I think if you do that in any other business environment, that's like you're instantly disqualified. If I'm
in any environment,
if like, I take a note,
Skid Row, that's weird.
If I'm like writing a note in a meeting and then I tear off the piece of paper and crumple it up and eat it in front of everyone, the meeting would stop. People be like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?" They'd be like, "What the fuck?" We'd be like, "Oh, let's go. Can we go? Let's go in the hall real quick.
Can we get you help?"
Yeah, like
we're gonna have to let you go, but we're also gonna call an ambulance.
No.
There's something going on.
No, they would do the thing where they'd give me like a month's leave, and because they'd have to give me that before they could legally fire me. I'd have to come back for.
You have to go to the therapy like that I was at, and then they'll just kick you out.
Yeah, because I'm eating notes. They're like, "Why do you feel compelled to eat paper?" Or they just think you're like super secret. Yeah, man, like that's some wild shit. I know.
It could be on that note that he had to eat it
in front of other people, like they didn't notice. Get the fuck out
in the Oval Office. What a clown, dude! Yeah. Like, oh man. All right, let's close it up.
Yeah. What do you got? And how you doing, man? Good. Any news on the work front? Any good news? Just chilling.
I'm flexing nuts right now. I'm interviewing with another company tomorrow just to get leverage. Then I'm going on a first date again, and then I'm going on another first date on Thursday at a library.
All right, and hey, if you people that listen, go leave a comment. Should we incorporate some form of Andy's dates and dating life into this show? Because he tried to do it and then backed out, and I vetoed it. But now I'm starting to think it'd be a good idea, man. I think we might be on to something here. You go on dates, and then after the first date, we do like a follow-up interview with her.
Yeah, and I've been really trying hard not to tell them that I host a podcast, like via your advice. So
yeah, well, maybe we just throw that advice in the trash and put it on. No, I'm just kidding.
We had a lady who I went on a date with, and she wanted to be a guest host on this podcast, this episode. we both were like, nah, I don't think so.
That's not the whole story. So this is like way back in the day. It's one of like the original episodes that we streamed, and Andy was telling the story about how he went on a date with this girl, and he brought his dog, and she got pissed, and then she ditched him. There's actually a clip of it on the YouTube channel, so you can watch him tell the story. But she bailed on him and left him for some like 65-year-old British guy, and then she.
Bald.
And then yeah, some bald British fuck, and then she hit him up recently, and somehow it was like he wanted to have her on the podcast, and I was like, what? And I was like, that sounds like a bad idea. So we might have her on one of these days, maybe just for as a guest. Maybe we have a
Yeah,
guest
I
for
mean,
a guest for therapy
I just
questions.
she's so wild that I just thought it'd be good entertainment for the world, since
Oh,
we got 30 countries at this point.
well,
But
we can discuss it, but yeah, I mean, I'm down. I mean, it's just
it was
it would have to be
it was
structured.
too, yeah. The notice was too soon.
Yeah, I'd have to come up with some good questions and stuff.
That, she asked me to FaceTime her, and after I FaceTime with her, uh, she texted me and said, "What's your name again?"
That's love, baby. And also, hey, shout out UK, man. We've been, getting a lot of weekly listeners out in the UK. So shout out to y'all. We appreciate you. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
episode,
overtook Germany as our second most listened to country.
yeah, which is wild. So we appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, 51 done. I'm gonna tweak the layout a little bit, so we'll get this set up. But we're gonna start running some clips. I've got. Hopefully, you'll like it. I feel like it looks way crispier. You'll have to check it out whenever you can check. You can't look at it right now, but it looks way better. Um, and yeah, just be safe. Have a good, safe week. Pay attention to the fucking news. Oh my God, pay attention to the fucking news. And if you have not registered to vote, go fucking register to vote now. Go do it. Fucking do
Um,
it.
Unless you can't, if you're in Myanmar or Egypt.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, and if you live in the United States of America, please go register to vote if you're not. These people are fucking batshit crazy, and we need to get rid of them. But like always, be safe, stay out of trouble, and as always, please go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stop.